Spring Valley, Minnesota, home of Laura Ingalls Wilder, Richard Sears of Sears Roebuck, and historic Forestville. In the spring of 2010, Historic Forestville created an intergenerational program that mixed Spring Valley area seniors with sixth graders from Kingsland Elementary School.
It's an opportunity for senior citizens and youth of our community to gather together and to share stories and to build possibly lasting friendships. The seniors are sharing personal stories, things that you don't hear about in books. The students are learning interview techniques. We worked with them on that. They're listening to the stories, and upon the completion of tonight, the students will work in school to create a Shutterfly online book that will be able to be passed down to generation after generation, outlining what they learned here tonight and on the field trip.
Tonight we had a partner and we had microphones and we went around and we pretty much interviewed with people from around here, and then we all just talked and had fun, and they gave us some brochures and stuff, and then later on we're gonna end up making a book.
I'm here because I'm part of a team of seniors that is presenting historical aspects to our sixth grade students from our community. There were 7 presenters who presented different aspects of the history of Spring Valley, and we each gave our own little presentation using pictures, artifacts, posters.
Well, a lot of the things that were being talked about today aren't visible at the present time because the iron mines are not active and the railroads are gone. Well, it should be interesting to go on a tour and see some of these areas, and I think kids will probably get a kick out of that, and some of the adults probably don't know where some of these places are, like old school sites and railroads and iron mine plants and stuff like that.
And they met up at the Spring Valley Library, and they boarded a bus to go out into the community and see where history happened. So we started with some of the highlights of the important people right in town, and we went to the Wilder Museum in Spring Valley. Then we ventured out south, went down to Etna, a small little village that was in its heyday a much larger village than what we visited today. Then we went on to another little nook called Cherry Grove, and there was a famous person by the name of Bernard Petenpaul, and he built the Sky Camper in Cherry Grove in his workshop. And then we moved on, went to the schoolhouse, one-room schoolhouse. We had one of the participants explain to the students that she sit in that schoolhouse and went to school there. Then we finished it up by coming out here to Forestville, and we came into the general store.
The general store was actually built by Felix Mahan and Robert Foster. Robert was a brother to my great-great-grandfather. The store is very unique, one of the first stores in the area, actually in Minnesota, this area. And the store was very important back in those days for supplies.
Well, I'm a firm believer in intergenerational. In the United States of America, intergenerational is really falling by the wayside, and I think it's affecting our society. There's a lot of things that young people can learn from the older people. It's just like history. We have to learn from our past so that we can move forward in the future.
I like learning about the different things about Spring Valley and Cherry Grove and about the past.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. Just the fact that they're interested is gratifying to me.
I'm hopeful that the students will pass on what they learn to others, to other generations actually, and they will just keep spreading the legacy, spreading their stories.